Hello everyone! Las Vegas is so rich in culture, with what I think is one of the best Chinatowns anywhere in the country. We're even fortunate enough to have what many are calling a second Chinatown. It's been developing over the last few years, and is now entering a spring period, and is in full bloom. Today, we're visiting one of the second Chinatown stars. There's always a wait here, and as soon as you enter and take in the magnificent aromas, you'll know why. For many years, we've been hearing whispers and rumors of a place in the southwest part of town that has the most authentic and delicious Hong Kong barbecue. And since beginning our reviews, many of you have also suggested this place. Today, we're taking you to Kee HK BBQ and Noodle, and we're so excited to tell you all about one of Las Vegas's best kept secrets. It's a somewhat unassuming looking place, but don't be fooled. Within is a chef who learned his craft in Hong Kong over 30 years ago from one of the top master chefs. And now, every day he brings to us one masterpiece after another for our enjoyment. The food at Kee is not to be missed. So let's begin. We began the day with lemon tea. It comes unsweetened. It's full-bodied with a strong lemon flavor. Rich black Chinese tea enhanced with vibrant fresh lemons. I love this little side of simple syrup that comes with it. Perfect for dissolving instantly into your tea. Granulated sugar just falls to the bottom and doesn't always immediately melt into tea. But this is instantly infused. And in case you didn't know, simple syrup is just half water and half sugar, heated until they meld together, and then cool. Well, this was delicious, and a great way to start a meal. Known as lechon liempo in the Philippines, and in Hong Kong as crispy pork belly. Well, either way, it's bloody delicious. I served a ton of pork belly in my restaurant, and it was one of our most popular dishes, so I consider myself somewhat of a pork belly aficionado. Through our travels in season 1, we've had some crazy good crispy pork belly. But almost every time, we would get reports back from our viewers telling us, "You should go to Kee. They make the best Hong Kong-style roasted pork." Every time I see crispy pork on a menu, it calls to me and I have to order it. Well, here we are, and I wholeheartely agree with you all that this is probably as good, if not better, than any crispy pork belly I've ever tasted. It's not at all gamey. The meat is fantastically juicy and moist, so tender and rich in flavor. The skin is delicate, but yet uber crunchy, somewhat like biting into fresh chicharron right out of the fryer, instantly dissolving in your mouth as you chew it. As usual, it was served with hoisin sauce, but unexpectedly, our server included a side of mustard as well for dipping. By now, you all know of my love of mustard, so this was a very welcome addition. Both sauces were excellent pairings with this fantastic crispy pork. I could have eaten this all day. But so many more dishes to get to. Anyway, do not miss this dish when you come here. We're always telling you of our friend, Elmer, who loves this dish. After seeing this review, he's going to be rushing down to Kee to order this fantastic rendition of beef Chow Fun. I can't wait to hear what he and you all think of this great version. I suspect you too will love it as much as we do. I wish you could taste this amazing charred noodle dish right now. It's perfectly seasoned. If you like this time-honored Chinese dry noodle classic as much as we do, then you must order this when you come here. The sauce is so packed with a rich soy and white pepper flavor, and of course, wok hei, that charred, seared flavor I love so much that seems to be the quintessential star player of both this dish and properly prepared Mongolian beef. These noodles are perfectly al dente. They put up just the right amount of fight. The beef is great, very soft, but not velveted as it is in many Chinese restaurants, just marinated in soy and pepper, then into a lethal hot wok it goes. It's a standout dish, perfectly seasoned, and a must-try. Hong Kong duck has become one of my favorite preparation styles. I was obsessed with Chinese roast duck since my teen years, working for the wonderful and beautiful Chef Rose Song at the Chinese Tea House in Torrance, California. She taught me the sometimes overlooked beauty of simplicity and balanced flavors. Another common refrain from our viewers is that we should try Kee for their roast duck. And I have to admit it, you all are right once again. This may very well be the correct way the duck should be prepared. The owner and chef knows what he's doing and studied with a master chef in Hong Kong for over 30 years to learn the proper way to make authentic roast duck. Its flavor is incredible, so rich with tons of juicy, ducky goodness. When it arrived to the table, the plate was dry, but after resting for a few moments, a beautiful pool of juice emerges from the meat. So many places serve duck that's dried out and tasteless, but Kee's is super moist, and you can practically make a soup from all the juice that this duck exudes. If you eat this duck when it arrives hot to the table, the juices explode in your mouth. I might have to come here and order a whole duck next time. This is so darn good. I love the authentic duck sauce it's served with. It has apricot, soy, garlic, ginger, and chilies. The recipe reminds me of the 80s. When I was a kid, there were many restaurants that made this amazing duck sauce. Today, only a handful remain. Well, I'm glad to see they're so busy. It's a sure bet they'll be here for years to come, as I want to get back here and again and get this excellent duck. Look at this wonderful dish. Tender velveted beef, chicken, barbecue roasted pork, large shrimp, bok choy, and scallions, cooked to perfection in a wok hotter than the face of the sun. That's what gives this dish such a tremendous flavor. A great rendition of this classic Hong Kong-style dish, which has been a favorite of mine since my early childhood. The best I've found here in Las Vegas is across the street at Taste Restaurant, but I think it might be a tie with Kee. I'm bewildered by how intoxicating these crispy noodles are. So crunchy. You hear the glorious sound of them exploding in your mouth with a giant crackling pop. The sauce is beyond good. A rich Chinese brown salty gravy that takes me back to my youth and reminds me of the first time I tasted this dish. One of my favorite aspects is how it begins as a crispy noodle dish, but slowly becomes this soft, almost gelatinous slurry of now softened noodles covered with a thick and completely delightful coating of sauce. It's like getting two dishes in one, each with their own beautiful profile. I could eat this all day, and you should make sure to order this when you come here. You won't believe your taste buds when you bite into these Potstickers. When they were set down, we were told these were grandma style, meaning they're made with homemade dough and not the perfect stamped out shells you get from a soulless factory. They're the kind of rough around the edges pastry that you can really sink your teeth into and savor the doughiness of. They're heavy in a wonderful way with intense glutinous texture. They look completely imperfect, the telltale sign of a homemade treat. They make the dough from scratch as well as this ground pork and garlic filling, and it's just heavenly. The sauce is a salty, bitter, wonderfully flavored delight, but do yourself a favor and try them without any sauce, as they stand up on their own perfectly, naked and unadulterated. I have to say that these Potstickers are unlike any I've ever eaten before. I know it sounds crazy, but they remind me of my Nona's ravioli. Wow, you just have to try these. Wow, look at how beautiful and glistening is this barbecue pork. It's calling out to you, beckoning you to eat it. I've got news for you. It's even better than it looks. Also known as char siu pork, honey glazed barbecue pork is another one of Kee's specialties. Unlike most children who are scolded at dinner,
"Stop playing with your food and just eat it!"
my mother encouraged me to play with my food so I could better discern how to make it myself. So I'm always open to culinary suggestion and decided to listen to our server, Bill, and order some buns to stuff my barbecue pork into. Bill also suggested I had the buns deep fried. Why not? I've never met a food I didn't dream of throwing into the fryer. And so, I dutifully complied. Besides, I always hated when people would ask my advice about what to order. Then, when I gave them my suggestion, they would proceed to ignore it. As well as the fried buns, we also had hoisin sauce and mustard. Well, the pork is great on its own, but with the buns and various sauces, just a stunning combination. The pork is sweet with a nice bark, and the inside is so rich with a Chinese 5-spice and honey smokiness. The addition of the mustard and hoisin sauce really enhances the flavor of this pork, and the texture of the fried buns makes this just an electric and tantalizing treat. One of the best things I've ever put in my mouth. Another must-try dish. Okay, you know I'm always going to be honest with you. These Singapore noodles are good, but by no means great. Of all the things I had today, this was the weakest. They grind their own curry, and I love the flavor of it. It's fantastic. However, the skinny rice noodles are a tad overcooked. They really let down the dish. They could have been a little more al dente, and I think it would have made a world of difference. I do love the shrimp and shredded pork. It gives the noodles a nice flavor. But overall, this dish was underseasoned and it fell a bit flat. Part of my disappointment with this dish is due to the quality of all the other dishes I had here today. When you're surrounded by wildly fantastic food, a decent dish can seem glaringly lacking. It's spicy, but that's about it. Okay, maybe they had an off day making this dish. Given how good everything else is here, I would give them another chance the next time I'm here. But for reviewing purposes, I can only tell you about what I had today. Wow, have you ever seen anything so beautiful in all your life? I wish this were smell-o-vision so you could get a sense of the fantastic aromas that draw you in. As we usually do when coming to a new place, we asked our server, Bill, what one dish he would order if this were to be his last meal. He said, almost immediately and without hesitation, the fortune noodles. He added that they're known for giving good luck to those who eat them. And that made sense coming from a man contemplating his last meal. And so we placed the order. As the tale goes, stir them before you dive in, and it releases the good fortune. This dish would be perfect to eat for the new year, since long noodles are good luck as well as eggs. These were the standout dish of the day. Everything you crave in a dry noodle dish. Tangy, slightly sweet, but not overpoweringly so. The pickled radish really gives it that certain je ne sais quoi. I love all the different roasted meats in here. The duck is a nice, moist, clean piece of leg, boneless of course, with a beautiful crispy skin. The roasted pork, cut into julienne pieces, is an unusual flavor and plays well with the tart sauce. I absolutely love these noodles. I'm so glad Bill was so adamant about us getting them. They say this dish brings about good fortune after you eat it. Well, in this case, the good fortune came early, when we placed the order. Okay, sounding like a broken record today, but make sure to order this when you come here. You'll be thanking us when you do. You could not ask for better soup than this brisket noodle. Packed with big flavor. You don't need salt or any other condiments here. With the exception of the aforementioned Singapore noodles, they know how to season, and this chef pushes the envelope when it comes to flavoring his dishes. I'm so impressed with the amount of flavor they're able to impart into this divine bone broth beef consommé. Though not a noodle house, the soup here rivals almost any other I've eaten in Vegas. The rich bone broth with slowly cooked brisket is so savory that it almost reminds me of au jus from a wonderful prime rib. I hate a bland, watery soup, and this is far, far from that. It's not at all shy on flavor. The Taiwanese rice noodles are wonderful. Though not homemade, they're very good quality and cooked just right. The broth contains a hidden surprise. Pickled radishes give it a tart, tangy, almost bitter taste. The bok choy makes it feel alive with freshness. Mix in the cilantro if you love it as much as I do. It adds so much to this audaciously intense broth. This is perfect cold weather soup and the kind of dish you can climb into and lose yourself. Okay, I know the list of must-have dishes is really racking up here, but make sure you get this dish also. My mom told me I inherited her love of fried chicken. Back in the days of the Depression, she and my father would travel on the road for work, and when she'd return back home at the train station, my mom would call her mom and say, "Jenny, we're on our way home. Make us some fried chicken." My grandma was famous for making the best fried chicken in Missouri, a recipe that had been passed down for generations in our family. So I consider myself an expert in making and, more importantly, critiquing fried chicken. Well, this is superb fried chicken. Just sensational. I wish they gave you more, but it's a great way to start off your meal. Wow, it's right up there with the best I've ever had. Kee, this is a standout dish, and I thank you for it. Probably one of the best examples of salt and pepper chicken I've ever had. It's crispy, yet moist and tender on the inside. The breading is wonderfully seasoned with lots of salt and pepper, then topped with fresh minced garlic and sauteed jalapeno. I could eat this chicken anytime, anywhere, and be happy. I'm already planning my trip back just to get this fried chicken dish. Well, all I can say is I am so happy we finally went to Kee HK BBQ. And I can see why we received so many comments from viewers about this restaurant. It's fabulous. The people are so warm and friendly. I love just sitting there eating and hearing them greet everyone who enters with a sincere welcome in unison.
Welcome!
The people here really add to the experience. However, it's the food that's the shining star and draws you back again and again. You can smell all the great flavors as soon as you enter. The chef takes great pride in his work and makes his recipes that were taught to him in Hong Kong from a barbecue master. There's also an unmistakable sense of pride all the employees have in this restaurant and their amazing dishes. Our server couldn't wait to tell us about the food and make recommendations. It felt like middle school when your best friend can't wait to tell you about all the gifts he got for Christmas. This type of enthusiasm is infectious. When you dine here, you feel like you're getting the inside skinning on a hidden secret. You're the newest inductee of a secret club and you can't wait to spread the word to future members. These classic dishes are so tremendous, you don't want to miss them. There were a number of contenders for Dish of the Day, from the stunning homemade and unique Potstickers, to the highly flavorful and deeply comforting beef noodle soup, to the incredible Hong Kong Crispy Noodles. And almost every dish in between. But without a doubt, today's standout was the Kee Mixed Noodle dish, with the salt and pepper fried chicken wings a very close second. The mixed noodle, also known as the fortune noodle dish, was bold and unforgettable, and the addition of the duck put it over the top. It'll be number one on my list when I return to Kee. You'll be happy, just as we are now, for finding such a great restaurant here in Vegas that serves authentic Hong Kong barbecue. We'll be back to Kee very soon. Who knows? Maybe you'll see us there. And don't forget to tell them, Let's Eat Vegas sent you. I know we're all guilty of watching YouTube videos and not participating. Please like, comment, subscribe, or even become a VIP member. It means a lot to us, and it helps us grow and to bring you more reviews. Until we eat again, bon appetit.